I am stunned, man. I absolutely love this episode of 100 Girlfriends. It's fantastic. It tackles one of the big elements I think anyone that has been watching this show thus far, anyone that has been basically wondering, like, okay, we know that Rintaro has to get 100 girlfriends. Hell, it's in the title. But the question a lot of people probably had subconsciously, even if they never asked it, was how would the parents feel about Rintaro not just being, like, let's say a 2-timer, a 3-timer, a 4-timer, even a 5-timer, but a 100-timer. Like, this man's gonna have 100 girlfriends, and there's bound to be quite a few parents amongst all these different girls he's going to get that are gonna have parents very upset. Like, okay, so why does this guy need to have 100 girlfriends? It's not something that Rentaro's gonna be able to properly explain. He can't just say, oh yeah, if I don't get with your girl, she's going to die alone, be unhappy, and yeah, that's pretty much. And he can't really just say that. So when you factor everything going on, it's like it makes sense why Rintaro is doing what he's doing, but it also makes sense for, let's say, certain parents to be very upset with this, and it's a normal reaction. And let's be honest, when you take a look at the crowd that, surrounds Rintaro, like you look at his current, like, family situation here, he is surrounded by quite a few weird ones. I mean, we got someone that literally is pretty much efficient as an AI. We have someone that is just very, very lewd, Hakari. I mean, we have, Kusuri, which is just... Do I even need to explain what we just had to deal with, like, in the last episode with the zombie kisses and stuff? And I mean, just, like, there's a bunch of weird characters that's already intertwined with Rintaro's life. And so, when you factor in everything going on here, it's like, it's only going to get weirder and weirder. And so, from a parent's perspective, it's like, why him? Of all people, why him and all that? And it makes sense, like, why they would want to take, their daughter away from Rintaro when they look at the entire situation. But, let's actually talk about this, okay? What does this episode actually do for the story? Well, this episode tries to keep the comfy and affectionate and comedic atmosphere that we have come to know and love of 100 Girlfriends. But it also throws in a very serious tone, basically showcasing that the way of life that Rintaro and his girlfriends have been living isn't necessarily going to stay the same. It needs to change. That, there has to be changes made to be able to have, like, a fallback plan or be able to handle these type of situations if they arise in the future. Because it's like, Rintaro has been going on and romancing basically all his new girlfriends and not really thinking about the consequences of what everybody would think outside of that situation. There will be people trying to stop them from getting together. And here's the thing, even if, let's say, hypothetically, like, Hikari and Rintaro, they are, destined. We know this. Nothing's stopping someone coming in and trying to completely separate them completely to where, like, they will never see each other again. Thus we move into the mother here. So when you think about the entirety of the situation, it's interesting because it's like, even if this might work out, this is not going to probably be the last time we see something like this. There's going to be parents that are going to jump in and try to do something, maybe not to Rintaro, but one of Rintaro's girlfriends, because of maybe the interactions or something going on. Maybe there might be bad blood between the parents. Who really knows? All I'm trying to say is that we get a serious undertone, and this is the first time that 100 Girlfriends is really tackling a serious tone. Like, we've had some stuff already, but this is, like, truly serious, because it's getting into drama, and it's showcasing how the author of 100 Girlfriends could actually write drama. For instance, write, melodrama, drama, and how, it can be a little bit different than what we're used to, because obviously, when you think about what this episode presents, okay, this is the traditional, the parents have a problem with you being with a certain person, and you need to prove your worth to them. For instance, Rintaro needs to prove his worth. That's clearly what's kind of going on here. It's a trope, it's a cliche, and since technically, 100 Girlfriends is kind of like a parody of, like, the harem type rom-com genre, it makes a lot of sense why this trope is appearing. But it's obviously going to have its own spin to it. And when you take a look at what's going on here, is that Rintaro, he's going to have to do this probably multiple times. He's going to have to use, a way to kind of I guess show them, like, yeah, I'm a good guy, this is why she picked me and all that, this is why I should be with her, and I'm looking forward to seeing how this trope is done, because once again, we've seen a lot of drama and all that, and we have obviously seen now that this series can prove itself, that it can twist cliches, be very different, and especially when you see this whole scene where Rintaro, he goes up and he starts to try to talk to Hikari and all that about what's going on, he just straight up confronts her. And this is a very nice subvert of expectations to this cliche, because normally you have the main character, they're sad, yes, but they don't really confront the female character or the male character. They have multiple episodes where they just don't talk, and that's just basically about it. But that's not exactly the case. Rentaro instantly goes over to where Hikari is, thinks about it, and he's like, I know you're lying to me, I know something's going on, and he gets to the meat of the problem and realizes what's actually going on. And so he takes it into his own hands and is like, look, the only option available to me at this point is that I'm going to have to run away. Like, I'm going to have to go in there, I'm going to have to grab Akari, and I'm going to, have to run off and hide from her mother, the family, and all that, and I don't know when I'm going to get to see all of you again, but I'm going to have to run off and do stuff. And this is a very unexpected turn. Like, this whole episode, what it kind of tries to convey is that Rintaro's life of living at school and having a high school life might actually be over. Even though all the girls here want to go with him, and it's a very inspiring and adorable moment, they basically all admit that they will go with him to retrieve Hikari, to make her happy once again, to bring her back into the family. But if they need to run away and go to, like, let's say a remote island, so to speak, they 100% would. So this opens up a doorway, a vast network of possibilities for 100 Girlfriends, basically saying it doesn't necessarily need to be stuck in the high school setting. It can do whatever it wants. Like, if it wants to go around the world and traveling and all that, that's exactly what it'll do. And I like this. There's a lot of freedom here that the author is obviously conveying to the audience, saying, I'm not bound to a high school life. I can do whatever I want. If I want to go to a distant country, I will. And I like that. It adds a nice, depressing and serious undertone to the comedic effect, with also very inspiring emotions, especially with all them working together like family. It's cute, it's adorable, and it really is, honestly, everything considered, I wouldn't say that this is my favorite episode of 100 Girlfriends. Like, I really liked the last episode. There's a lot of good parodies, references, and comedy is subjective, clearly. But, I think in terms of progression and being unique and trying to do something different, this is the episode for that. This is one that really does stand out. It's a truly unique episode because it is the first time we're actually seeing drama within the story. And it's not the typical drama, it's trying to do it in its own way, which I respect. I really respect that. And FYI, this is basically as far as I kind of got with the story. Like, when I was reading the manga of 100 Girlfriends, I got about this far to the end of this arc here, and then I stopped because I haven't continued reading it. No reason. It's not because it got bad or anything. I just didn't continue reading it for a while. So, yeah, I'm about to be caught up to my segment, and I'm going to be an anime only soon. So, look forward to that one. But I guess I'll drop it there. I wanted to talk about this episode. I felt this was a really good episode. There was some good comedy. There was the typical tropes of fan service stuff thrown in. It's a good episode. It's just a really cute and adorable episode. We have some cursed moments too. I'm happy. I'm happy to see just a great episode. And I think there's becoming more and more people that are becoming aware of 100 Girlfriends and loving this more and more as the weeks go on by. It's kind of like what's been happening with Free Ren as of late. But okay, be safe, stay healthy, everyone. Chibi out.